pause for a moment. Have you ever questioned whose expectations you're really living by? Are you doing things to please others, or are you honoring your own well being? The world asks for a lot from us: smiles when we're breaking, silence when we need to speak up, and sacrifices that leave us drained. What if there was a way to quietly release the habits that keep us tied to the expectations of others and reclaim our peace? Let's uncover 6 toxic social habits that might be stealing your inner calm. The facade of kindness, saying yes to everyone even when it drains you, but at what cost? People pleasing can seem like a positive trait, helping others, keeping peace, but in reality, it's a quiet form of self neglect. Constantly saying yes to others while neglecting your own needs can leave you feeling invisible and emotionally drained. It's like running on empty, hoping that one more smile or one more favor will fill your cup. When you over prioritize others, you end up feeling depleted and resentful. The very thing you thought was selfless becomes a slow, quiet form of self neglect. The Stoics teach that living in alignment with our values, not out of fear of rejection, is the path to true inner peace. People pleasing often stems from a desire for external validation, which can leave us hollow and disconnected from our true selves. Saying yes too often erodes your self respect. When you say yes to everyone else, you're silently saying no to your own needs. Over time, this dynamic chips away at your sense of self worth and leaves you feeling like a mere vessel for others' expectations. A simple, firm no is your first step toward reclaiming your time, energy, and peace. It's not a rejection of others, it's an affirmation of your boundaries. Learning to protect your own well being is not selfish, it's necessary. By setting boundaries, you show yourself the same respect you give others. Liberating yourself from the chains of people pleasing means embracing your own needs, desires, and priorities without shame. Reclaiming your life starts with recognizing that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. Holding a grudge feels like control, doesn't it? But in reality, it's a prison of your own making. Think about the last time someone wronged you. Are you still carrying that weight? Does it affect the way you move through life? Holding on to resentment can feel empowering at first, like you're holding something over the person who hurt you. But in the end, it's you who bears the burden. The false sense of power that grudges give you can be incredibly destructive. It's easy to think that staying angry or resentful will give you control, but in reality, it only deepens the emotional wound. Stoic wisdom reminds us that holding on to anger or resentment doesn't change the past, it only keeps you stuck in it. Anger and resentment don't punish the person who wronged you. They punish you by keeping you tethered to the very thing you wish to escape. Grudges weigh you down, preventing you from moving forward and living fully. They cloud your ability to experience peace and joy in the present moment. When you let a grudge take root, it takes up space in your mind and heart, leaving little room for healing or growth. You're bound to the past rather than embracing the present. Forgiveness isn't about excusing others, it's about reclaiming your peace. Letting go of a grudge doesn't mean you're condoning the behavior or letting someone off the hook. It's about releasing the emotional weight that's keeping you stuck. The power of releasing a grudge lightens your emotional load, freeing you from the chains of bitterness that hold you back from living a fuller, freer life. Healing isn't for the other person, it's for your own mental and emotional freedom. When you forgive, you're choosing to let go of the past and move forward in a way that honors your peace and well being. When we see red flags in relationships, we often choose to ignore them, hoping things will get better on their own. But do they? How many times have we stayed in toxic situations hoping they would improve, only to find ourselves deeper in the mess? The truth is, ignoring red flags only prolongs the hurt and confusion. The danger of ignoring the signs of disrespect, dishonesty, and manipulation is that they often grow stronger over time. What starts as a small discomfort can soon turn into a storm of negativity, draining your energy and compromising your self worth. Your intuition is screaming at you, are you listening? Deep down, you know when something isn't right, but we often talk ourselves out of what we feel, hoping for change that may never come. Red flags aren't obstacles to overcome, they are boundaries to enforce. Instead of thinking that you can change someone or endure their behavior, consider these flags as early warnings meant to protect you. Stoic wisdom teaches us to trust our instincts, protect ourselves from toxic behavior, and honor our worth. Your instincts are there to guide you, not to be ignored in favor of wishful thinking. When you allow toxic behavior to continue unchecked, you're betraying your own sense of self respect. Recognize that it's not your responsibility to fix others, it's your responsibility to protect yourself. You don't have to save everyone or stay in situations that harm you. Listening to your gut and walking away from environments that threaten your peace is a radical act of self care. Embrace the idea that self respect begins when you stop tolerating disrespect. By recognizing and acting on red flags, you're showing yourself the love and care that you deserve, creating the space for healthier, more nurturing relationships. Sometimes silence feels like the safest option, doesn't it? But in truth, silence in the face of injustice is complicity. Think about those moments when you stayed quiet even though your values screamed at you to speak. What was the cost? Silence can feel like a shield protecting you from conflict, but in many cases, it also keeps you from standing in your own truth and defending what's right. There's a false notion that silence keeps the peace, but in reality, it allows toxic behavior to persist. By remaining quiet when something feels wrong, you inadvertently enable negativity to grow. It's easy to convince ourselves that avoiding confrontation is the path of least resistance, but in doing so, we sacrifice the opportunity to address issues head on and promote healthier dynamics. The personal consequences of silencing your truth are far reaching. It chips away at your authenticity and keeps you disconnected from your own values. Every time you choose silence over speaking up, you're creating an internal conflict that slowly erodes your peace of mind. Stoic wisdom tells us don't explain your philosophy, live it. Speaking up is an embodiment of your values. It's not about defending your opinions at all costs, but about living in alignment with what you believe is right. When you speak your truth, you not only stay true to your integrity, but you also give yourself permission to live authentically and without guilt. The internal toll of staying silent is heavy as it undermines your sense of self and your sense of peace. Speak up, not from a place of anger, but from a place of calm strength. Courageous communication isn't about aggression, it's about expressing yourself clearly and respectfully, even in difficult situations. Learn the art of using your voice wisely to protect your peace and live in alignment with your beliefs. By doing so, you reclaim your power and demonstrate to the world and to yourself that you won't let silence dictate your integrity. Thoughtful, courageous communication is a tool for personal liberation and growth. We live in an age of distractions, social media, streaming, endless scrolling. But what are we really escaping from? Have you ever paused to think about how much time you spend seeking entertainment rather than embracing stillness? In a world constantly buzzing with noise, it's easy to fall into the trap of using entertainment as a way to avoid confronting ourselves, to fall into the trap of using entertainment as a way to avoid confronting ourselves. Constant entertainment can numb your emotions and prevent meaningful self reflection. Whether it's mindlessly scrolling through social media or binge watching shows, these distractions provide a temporary escape but leave little room for deeper introspection. You may find yourself constantly busy, but without ever really checking in with your own thoughts and feelings. The more you rely on entertainment to fill every moment, the less you engage with your true self. It's a shallow, disconnected way of living, where the external world consumes your focus and leaves little space for internal growth. The Stoics valued stillness because it's in quiet moments that we truly reconnect with ourselves. The power of self reflection comes from carving out time to sit with your thoughts, to pause, and to embrace silence. In stillness, we find clarity and understanding, something that constant entertainment can never provide. Escaping distractions allows us to listen to our deeper thoughts and feelings, to understand our true desires, fears, and dreams, and to live in alignment with our core values. Start replacing mindless entertainment with intentional activities, journaling, meditation, reading. These practices help you engage with yourself and your surroundings in a more meaningful way. Learn to sit in silence and be comfortable with your own thoughts rather than always seeking something outside of yourself for stimulation. By breaking free from the dopamine loop of instant gratification, you can experience life in a deeper, more fulfilling way, one that nourishes your mind, soul, and well being. Sharing every detail of your life may feel like connection, but it can often leave you feeling more exposed and vulnerable than before. In a world where Oversharing has become the norm. Have you ever considered what you're really giving away? We live in an era where it's easy to overshare for the sake of feeling heard or understood, but it's important to recognize the fine line between authentic sharing and seeking external validation. There's a big difference between being authentic and seeking validation through oversharing. When we share for the sake of approval or attention, we're no longer expressing our truth. We're looking for something outside of ourselves to affirm our worth. The unintended consequences of oversharing can be far reaching: gossip, shallow sympathy, and perhaps most damaging, the loss of control over your own narrative. Once your personal details are out in the world, you can't take them back. People's perceptions of you are shaped by what you reveal, and that can sometimes shift in ways you didn't intend. The Stoics believe that privacy is a form of power and emotional self regulation. Guarding your emotional energy and personal story is not about being secretive, it's about protecting your peace and maintaining control over your narrative. By keeping certain aspects of your life private, you create emotional boundaries that allow you to build deeper, more authentic relationships. When you're selective about what you share, you show respect for yourself and the people who truly earn the right to know you. Practice discretion. Share only with people who have earned your trust and respect. Be intentional about the stories you tell and take control of your own narrative by reflecting inwardly rather than seeking validation from external sources. Protect your emotional energy and your story. Don't hand it out freely to everyone. In doing so, you reclaim your personal power and safeguard your peace.